£6,000 for flowers. I picked them out my garden. Sorry, hun, I'm not Beyonce. I can't afford it. Yeah, it was definitely a lot of money. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chenkatai Victoria. This is another wedding series video. I've had so many DMs and emails actually from you guys saying that you love this series and you've been asking me questions, so I really feel like connected to you guys. So I'm going to do another one. This is finally the wedding cost video. So I'm going to tell you how much everything costs and how we managed to kind of negotiate things lower than they initially quoted us, because we got some ridiculous quotes, especially for flowers. But I know I've been MIA for a little bit, but please subscribe guys. Please share with your friends, anyone who's getting married or anyone who is hoping to be getting married soon, or if you're just interested, just share, help my channel to grow. I have not been consistent, I'll admit that. I've been posting a lot on YouTube Shorts, so check those out, and follow my TikTok, Chenkatai Victoria Home, and my Instagram as well. Those have been really growing and you guys have been loving my reels on there. So anyway, let's get straight into it. Right, I've got my notes in front of me because otherwise I'm not going to remember all those numbers. Let's start with the wedding venue. So you guys know that we did a 3-day wedding. So the first day was a wedding rehearsal dinner. We asked our guests to dress traditionally in their traditional clothing. If you know anything about Zimbabwean culture, you know that we were colonized, and I don't really know what our dressing is supposed to be like. So I just got a dress custom made. It wasn't necessarily African or traditionally themed, but my husband's grandma is South African, and so a lot of the family dressed in Xhosa, traditional wear. So yeah, that was the first day, and then the second day was obviously the white wedding. We had 350 guests on the white wedding, a full 3-course meal with bread rolls as well. We had a tequila station, and at one point we had an open bar. And then the last day was our white after party, so all white, everyone dressed in all white, and it was more casual. So we didn't have a sit down meal, it was more appetizers, and there was quite a lot of food, to be fair, and people kind of just pick the food. I did mention that on the first day we had I think it was just a 2-course meal. It might have been, I think it was a 3-course meal, to be fair, but the main meal was buffet style, and so our guests had to go and collect that themselves. But there was loads of food like beef stew, chicken stews, kind of more traditional food, kind of more traditional Zimbabwean food to go with the traditional theme. But there was no salsa, there was no pap. For those 3 days, the total wedding venue cost was 20,500 Great British pounds. I actually do not think this is that bad, because if you factor in the fact that the first day was 150 people and they had a 3-course meal. Fair enough, it was buffet, so we didn't need to pay for waiters as such. We cut costs there. And then the second day, the white wedding, obviously that was sit down, so we had waiters who were serving everyone. People would could order their drinks from them, people ordered their food from them, so obviously we had more waiters that we had to pay for, and obviously you're paying for the meal itself as well. And then the last day, obviously we had waiters, but it would have been less because it was not a sit down situation. That 20,500 was inclusive of the food, the welcome drinks, both at the reception and then the ceremony, the food at the white party, the food at the traditional party, and as well obviously the furniture, so the chair, the cutlery, the cups, the wine glasses, all that stuff was all included in the price. There was no decorations included in the price, that was additional, and the waiters. So that's what that 20,500 covered. I think that's pretty good, because in the UK, if I was to have literally 150, I think I looked it up, so it was somewhere in Essex, 150 people, it was telling me 20,000. That doesn't even make sense. 150 people is not even half the family. So it literally does not make sense. That 150 people, that's what we had at the traditional party, so yeah, wouldn't have made any sense whatsoever. So I think that is quite good for 3 days, and 150 people on the first day, 350 on the second day. The white party was about 200, maybe a bit less, but yeah. So the venue, I think most venues will probably give you a list of suppliers that they recommend you use, and of course our venue did, Avianto, they did give us a really good list, and we did start from there. However, their decor florist people were trying to charge us an arm and a leg. Let me tell you how much they tried to charge us for a very simple design. So what we wanted was very simple. So if you can't tell from some of the pictures that I posted and the video that I showed, we did want something quite traditional, quite romantic, and quite simple, to be honest. I didn't really want anything modern. So we wanted very simple, hence the flowers. We just literally wanted like a greenery runner, like going across the tables, just candles, that kind of vibe, not too much, fairy lights. They were charging us 5,891 Great British pounds for flowers. I don't know if it's because we're here in the UK and they're in South Africa, so they thought, you know, we're gonna get our money here. Sorry, hun, I'm not Beyonce, I can't afford it. £6,000 for flowers. I picked them out my garden. So we went back and forth with them. And so that was the first quote. Let me see the second one. So we went through everything they'd put on there and we started knocking things out. And the second quote was, they said they'd reduced it based on what we said take out, and it was 5,400. So what? They took off like £400. Wasn't working out. So we started searching. Luckily, we know some people in South Africa, and she recommended someone. The decor lady that we went with in the end was called Mary Chapu, and she was actually really amazing, and she worked with us and worked with our budget, and in total we ended up paying £2,276 for the decor, which is still, I think, a little bit high, but because our budget was like 2,000, but maybe that was completely unreasonable. But in the end, it did like come out exactly how we wanted it to come out, and she did an amazing job. Even though I'm sure it was so annoying having to go back and forth, like remove this, we probably went through so many different invoices with her, like making her remove stuff and change things. But yeah, definitely go through the invoices that you're sent, like section by section, line by line, and figure out like, will I miss this if this is gone, and do things by yourself. So we actually removed the seating chart from her invoice and I decided to do it myself. So I created that on Canva. I've been telling you guys about Canva. If you're not using Canva for planning even your dinner next week, I don't know what you're doing. You need to use Canva for everything. So in the end, our seating charts came up to about £80, and that's including the name cards as well. I literally went to like one of the printers in South Africa near where we were staying and gave them a list, told them to print it out and include the seat charts as well. That's what I did. I just created it and I said print it out. I won't lie, it didn't come out exactly how I wanted it to, because I thought it would be printed out on a board. It wasn't. It came like in a is it vinyl or acrylic roll, and so then my bridesmaids helped us out by sticking it onto a board. And yeah, that was like tense, because I think that was a couple of days before the wedding, and I was just thinking there's no way I'm gonna have a chance to go back to the printers and get it printed again if this goes wrong. But it worked out well in the end, and I think, to be fair, I don't know if people notice those things. Like, are you gonna remember, oh, their seating chart was like this? I mean, I'm trying to think, like, is that something I remember from weddings? No. I'll probably remember like the overall impression of how I felt or how the aesthetics were. But yeah, as long as it was there, it was there. So for the decorations, we also removed the fairy lights and we bought our own. So we went to China Mall in Johannesburg, and we got fairy lights of our own, and they cost us £70. And then we actually gifted them to our auntie, who was super helpful throughout the entire wedding planning process. So I think that was money well spent, and they're being repurposed, and you're not just paying a one-time fee. So if you can buy stuff, then you keep them and you use them for yourself, do that. So we also got some additional hours for the venue, and that was around 100 per hour. So we did that twice, and so that was £200 in total, but that was paid for by different people who just wanted to party more. So they said, I will pay the £100 to keep on partying. Then some money behind the bar, that was about 500. I think in total must have been about 1,000, but I'm gonna say 500 because I really don't remember. And that was money that was just put behind the bars to help people, you know, lubricate. Oh, I think it was definitely £1,000. Transport for our groomsmen and bridesmaids. So this is to the venue on all 3 days, and then getting picked up at like, literally, the poor man, for like 3 a.m. on the wedding day. no, the wedding day, what time did they get? I think they got picked up around 3 or 4 a.m. The traditional day that we got picked up around 12. And obviously bear in mind we had 14 bridesmaids, 14 groomsmen, and then like other people that stayed with us, like that were just like, yeah, we couldn't have done with those people not being with us. And so yeah, we needed buses and the venue was actually about 40 minutes or so away from where we were actually staying, so it was quite a long journey, and so I think that was about £1,000 as well. Moving on, speaking of Canva, let's talk about the invites. So I already told you guys like last year that I used Canva for my invites, and this cost me a grand total of £93 for printing out the invites. So I designed my invites using Canva. So I made invitations for the traditional rehearsal dinner, the white wedding and the white party, and I got those printed on Canva, and that was I want to say I got 200 or so printed of each. So I think that's really good. I think that's really good, because why are wedding invites so expensive? Like, why are you charging so much for a design that I didn't even create myself? It's not even personalized. Like, the most you've done is put my details on there, but other than that, it's just like random flowers that you put there. So once those were printed, I then posted them, and that was like £20 or so, because obviously it's just paper. So I got some vellum paper to cover the, basically to envelope the invites, and then I had string as well that tied the vellum paper, and then I used a wax seal with our initials, a personalized wax seal. I hope I'm explaining that, but if I haven't explained it properly, I'll just put a clip here of how I did it. And the wax and the vellum paper cost £14.98, and the wax seal that was personalized with our initials, so S and C, was £21.98. So I think that's really good. I don't know how much, you do the calculations for how much that is for in total for the wedding invites, but I think that is about £160 for wedding invites. I don't know if that's the same. I think that's still cheaper. I was seeing some crazy quotes. So my dress, I really love my dress, and I'm really glad I went for something that I wouldn't obviously wear day to day. Like, where am I gonna wear that day to day? And so I feel like your wedding day is an opportunity to do like something that you've just dreamed of, and like you wouldn't necessarily be able to do on a day-to-day. And that's why I didn't go for like a really tight fitting dress, but I just went to a dress shop in Ipswich. I think it's called Brides of St. Peter's, and she was really helpful, and my dress total was 1.8, so 1,800, and my mum paid for that, so I'm really grateful for that. So the cake was around £120. The photographer was £1,200 as well. That's photographer and videographer, which I think is really good. And then the saxophonist was £200. So let's do the final total. Okay, so I'm just finding out how much this video was. I'm just finding out as you are finding out. So the grand total is £27,077.71. But that is obviously only what I've included here. There's definitely other things that were obviously paid for that I've probably forgotten about, to be honest. For 3 days? In the UK, it's just a lot more, and I'm glad that we did it after buying a house, because otherwise that would have been just our like deposit for the house gone. And I'm so grateful to everyone who helped out. Yeah, it was definitely a lot of money. Woof, weddings are expensive, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please subscribe and share with your friends, and like this video, guys, and comment down below. Bye.